After grinding through 5 years of coding marathons and living off energy drinks, I cashed out when my startup sold to a tech giant. With a fat bank account, I bought my dream, a 2-acre estate in Pine Ridge Estates, complete with a 40-foot infinity pool overlooking rolling hills. For 2 weeks, it was paradise. Sunrise swims, quiet coding sessions, and the hum of pine trees at night. Then, at 6 a.m. one Thursday, sirens shattered my peace. Cops pounded on my door, responding to a 911 call from Eric, the 21-year-old son of the HOA president, claiming someone was drowning in my pool. When they arrived, Eric was trying to break into my pool gate, screaming about his swimming rights. One question from the officers, "Do you live here?" unraveled everything. Eric's answer left the cops speechless, and what followed turned a $200 smart lock into the key that exposed a criminal empire. It started innocently enough. One Monday morning, I sipped coffee by my pool and noticed my lounge chairs were slightly off. Wet patches dotted the deck. Odd, since it hadn't rained. I brushed it off, maybe wind, maybe dew, until I checked the skimmer basket. Floating among leaves was a used condom. My stomach churned. I scoured the property. 6 White Claw cans in the trash. I don't drink. Cigarette butts ground into my patio and dried vomit behind a planter. Someone had partied in my pool. And from the evidence, it wasn't just one person. My gates were locked. My paranoia about security was airtight. How had they gotten in? I checked the grainy security camera at the main gate, a relic from the previous owner. Saturday night's footage at 11 p.m. made my blood boil. 3 cars pulled up, disgorging 20 to 30 young adults. Leading them was Arik, collecting cash, $150 a head it looked like, before letting them through with a key or code. The footage was worse than I imagined. Heavy drinking, blaring music, couples getting intimate on my deck. One kid vomited in my pool. Another tossed cans into my garden. At the night's end, Eric counted a thick stack of bills, grinning. This wasn't trespassing. It was a business raking in over $1,000 in one night off my property. I drove to the hardware store and bought an August Smart Lock Pro with an HD camera. I installed it on the pool gate, added a private property, no trespassing sign, and linked the lock to my phone for alerts. Problem solved, I thought. 2 hours later, furious pounding shook my front door. There stood Linda, mid-50s, in a power blazer and oversized sunglasses, clutching a violation notice. "What is this tech junk on your gate?" she shrieked, introducing herself as Pine Ridge's HOA president. "It violates Section 7.3.2, Aesthetic Uniformity. Remove it in 48 hours or face $500 daily fines." I tried explaining the trespassing, the parties, but she cut me off. "Security concerns go through the HOA board. You don't get to ruin our property values with gadgets." As she stormed off, my neighbor George, a retired widower, shuffled over with a loaf of zucchini bread. "Welcome to Linda's dictatorship," he said, eyeing the notice. "She loves that rule. Invented it to block a neighbor's doorbell camera." Over coffee, George spilled the tea. Linda and her husband were once real estate tycoons until their flagship project tanked, leaving her bankrupt, divorced, and clinging to her HOA throne. And Eric, a college dropout caught stealing a professor's laptop. "Your pool," he said, "is their cash cow." Eric's been charging for parties for years. The previous owner was never here, and Eric's ex-girlfriend at the property management company had keys.
My jaw dropped. This was organized, and Linda was likely in on it, funding her lifestyle with my pool. I expected retaliation, but nothing prepared me for Eric's next move. At 6:15 a.m. Thursday, my phone buzzed with a camera alert. Eric and 3 friends, armed with pool bags, were at the gate. He yanked at the lock, screaming, "Mom said this would be gone." A girl whined, "I promised a photo shoot." Then, staring into my camera, Eric dialed 911. "There's a man drowning in the pool," he cried, faking panic. "He's sinking! The gate's locked! Hurry!" He hung up, high-fiving his friend. Cops will make him open it. 8 minutes later, 2 squad cars screeched into my driveway. Sir, we have a drowning report, the senior officer said, bolt cutters ready. I stayed calm. There's no one in my pool, but I can show you who called. In my living room, I played the footage. An empty pool, Eric's tantrum, his staged 911 call. The officer's face darkened. Filing a false report is a crime, especially pulling resources from real emergencies. Outside, Eric's smirk faded as the officer approached. Did you see the drowning man? Eric stammered. Maybe. A shadow. The app glitched. I showed him the footage. His friends scattered. Linda's SUV roared up and she leapt out. What are you doing to my son? He was trying to save a life. The officer showed her the video. Her rage morphed into panic. He's stressed from school. Please. The officer issued Eric a warning for false reporting, advising me to get a restraining order. Linda grabbed Eric, glaring at me. You'll regret this. This neighborhood was perfect before you. Her revenge was swift. The next morning, sirens woke me, a noise complaint about my swimming laps at 7 a.m. The embarrassed officers admitted they had to respond. Linda watched from her window, smirking. By noon, she was measuring my grass, posting on the HOA's social media that my 3.5-inch lawn violated the 3-inch rule. Comments piled up. Rules are rules! Neighbors I'd never met shunned me. Day 4, a law firm demanded $50,000 for defaming Eric and causing Linda emotional distress, threatening more if I didn't remove the lock and apologize. I sat by my pool, questioning everything. Was this worth it? George appeared with coffee. You know why I'm helping you? Linda told me to teach her to hold her liquor, he spat. Then he showed me a social media page, Elite Oasis Pool, with 5,000 followers. Every photo was taken at my pool, tagged with my address. Posts advertised midnight dips, $50, sunset elite, $75, influencer shoots, $200. Comments raved about this sick venue. My paradise was a public pool business. I went full detective, downloading 847 posts, cross-referencing them with footage. The operation was staggering. $3,500 to $4,000 weekly, $200,000 yearly, untaxed. Linda counted cash nightly. Eric sold overpriced vodka. Videos showed Linda demanding 80% of profits, bragging about handling cops. A state database revealed their shell company, LNE Events LLC, unregistered and unlicensed. Worse, 3 teens had landed in the ER from these parties. One nearly died, another crashed a car. A week-old video sealed their fate. Linda plotting to seize other neighbors' amenities by rewriting HOA rules. They all fold, she sneered. A few violations, some pressure, they'll leave. I decided to expose them at the HOA meeting, a public stage Linda couldn't control. I built a 15-slide presentation, airtight, with videos, spreadsheets, and calculations. George agreed to record it. Linda, thinking I'd whine about break-ins, approved my slot with a smirk. The 3 days before the meeting were torture. Linda struck first, posting about an emergency vote to fine me from my cameras. George laughed. She's trying to bury you. Stick to the plan. The community center was packed, 50 residents in a room for 30. Linda, in a power suit, greeted her allies. I waited until 7:25 to enter, laptop ready. She opened with a motion to fine me for $5,000 for my hostile cameras, citing twisted rules. 47 hands shot up. Only George and 2 others abstained. Motion carries, she crowed, then called me to speak. I connected my laptop, smiling. I'm here about security, to my property security. I showed my pool's beauty, then the trash cans, butts, vomit. Someone's been using my pool. The crowd shifted. I played footage, teens drinking, couples on my deck, Eric collecting cash. Parents gasped, recognizing kids. That's my daughter, one screamed. I showed the Elite Oasis page, its 5,000 followers, my address tagged. They've made $600,000 over 3 years, untaxed. The room erupted. I played Linda's video. I'm taking 80%. I handle the cops. Silence fell. LNE Events LLC, I said, showing their sham company. No taxes, no permits, endangering your kids? A mother stood trembling. My daughter is in the ICU from their party, $47,000 in bills because Eric sold her vodka. Parents roared. My son's in rehab. Linda screamed, lies, deep fakes. But no one listened. George filmed as Eric bolted for the door, blocked by furious parents. I delivered the final blow. I sent this to the IRS, police, and state 3 hours ago. 2 IRS agents and cops entered. Linda Marshall? She ran, tripped on a bag, and sprawled on the carpet, makeup smeared. I want my lawyer, she shrieked as cops cuffed her. Eric wailed, Mom, help! But she ignored him, led away in disgrace. The room cheered, clapping for me, the pariah turned hero. News exploded. HOA president ran a teen drinking ring. Linda's mugshot went viral. She had embezzled $50,000 from the HOA. Her pool profits funded her lifestyle. 8 families sued. The ICU girl's family sought $2 million. Linda got 5 years for fraud and endangerment. Eric got 300 hours at a youth rehab center. Her house foreclosed, and Eric flipped burgers to meet court orders. The HOA elected a new president who issued me a $10,000 settlement. I upgraded my security with AI cameras and a sign. Private property. Eric Marshall detected equals police. When Eric tested it, alarms blared, and he fled, leaving his shoes. Now I swim in peace. Last week, I was elected HOA president with 98% of the vote. George texted, your cameras will make us the safest neighborhood. That $200 lock didn't just protect my pool, it toppled a tyrant. Linda wanted it gone in 48 hours. Now she's behind bars for years. Eric still drives by, 52 meters away, but my alarms are ready. Should I share the footage of his latest attempt? Let me know.